One. What's up, guys and gals? This is our first episode of the Super Friends podcast. My name is Kevin.
I'm Ben.
I am Jacob, formerly known as Jake.
Oh, okay. Very nice intro there. Let's get right into it, guys. This is the Super Friends podcast, and we're going to discuss everything Dragon Ball Super related, whether it be rulings, deck discussions, deck theories, how we feel about leaders, how we feel about the current metagame, everything.
So I'm just going to put it out there. The game's great so far.
This game is fantastic. A lot better than I thought.
I kind of feel like the game itself and the mechanics, I just feel like it's so clean, like 95% of the time. I feel like some of the rulings are a little shit, though. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that might be for another time. But I do like how this game on the surface is easy to play, but when you actually get down to the heat of it, a lot of things go down.
It's a lot of micromanaging between your energy or deciding like what you want to combo out with. If you want to combo, it is like I said, like just a lot of micromanaging.
Mm-hmm. And I love the statistics about it.
It's a lot of headaches, is what it is.
A lot of numbers. A lot of
headaches is what I like to say.
But let's get right into it. Guys, what are your favorite leaders and colors in this first set? Or dual color decks if you want to go that route. Ben, how about you?
I'll probably have to say as my favorite leader right now, it would probably be Hit. For one reason, because he's the most underrated leader right now.
Okay.
And if we sit here and think about it, his power, he's a 15k on his front side on your turn pretty much when you attack with him. So even if they lock you at 5, they try to play like that 5 lock game, you're still putting enough pressure on their life total. So if it's between your board or your leader, you can kind of just like wait it out until you're able to awaken, so you don't feel behind the whole time. But the thing is, like, once you're not awakened, you're losing that draw power. So like you kind of have to make up for that with another color, or if you just decide to not even use red at that point.
Blue, right?
Yeah, but he's still putting enough pressure on after your opponent awakens. He's still putting pressure on your leader.
That's fair.
That's pretty solid.
The only thing I don't like about Hit, and I wish they changed, is it says negate the blocker. I wish it KO'd the blocker on his awakened side.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better.
It'd be a lot flavorful, probably.
Yeah, I think he'd be a lot better, and it wouldn't be OP either. I think it'd just be fine.
And I kind of feel like blockers is like they're good at the game, but also at the same time, when things affect blockers, people don't really care about it. If that makes any sense, right?
You know what it is too with blockers? It's because they're on the field already. You can't. You can play around them very easily. Like there's a few surprise blockers from the hand in a sense, like King Cold, for example, that you can play from the hand, or like the Vegeta, the green Vegeta that you play.
Raging Blast Vegeta.
Yeah, that one. So there's a few of those, but like most of the blockers are they're already on the board, so you can easily play around them.
I kind of feel like in the future blockers would have like when they initiate blockers, there would be an effect like you draw a card when you initiate blockers with this card.
Yeah, like when you block with this card, you get like a certain.
There's not enough value. I mean, like you're playing a card early game just to have it sort of protect. I mean, it doesn't really have a lot of value when you have them. I mean, but like the way I use Krillin is just like as a comp piece, honestly. Or like when I'm behind, I just play one of, and I'm just be like, yeah, I have another negate in my hand, so I have like 2 ways to stop.
It kind of acts like a pseudo negate depending on what your game plan is.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely respectable at least.
Yeah, there's definitely something to think about, and if blockers are especially good in yellow, I like them a lot in yellow. They're very strong. So, Hit is your favorite leader right now, Ben. What about the colors? Like, what's your favorite color style, or do you like a dual color? What are you working with right now?
I feel like if we're talking in forms of like monocolored, I would have to say blue, because it just hits so much energy so fast depending on what you're playing. You don't have to sit there into the late game and just like try to grind out energy, and you're not really sacrificing your hand size for energy at that point because your cards have already played as much energy as they can into play for you.
That's the problem I had with yellow when I was playing the Ginyu Force. Unfortunately.
I do like blue in the sense that you can energy ramp, but with objection and stuff, your hand gets pretty small pretty quick if you're not careful.
Exactly.
Which can really bite you. So
yeah, I feel like blue is kind of like the bait color. It's like you play
it's the
your
on
cards
curve color is what it is. It's
Yeah.
the on curve color.
Yeah, blue is easily the most splashable color right now too, like by far. In my opinion.
I mean, would it be wrong, Bandai, to be like, yeah, we're gonna make every single color playable with one another? Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's obvious that some colors have to have different characteristics. Like blue needs to have like that card draw, And blue needs to have the identity of which you can work with any color, and then yellow at the same time could be like a selfish color. You only play mono color of it. You only play mono of it, and then you just go to like a Ginyu Force sort of deck, or like Golden Freeze or anything along those lines. But
yeah, there's a lot of like restrictions in yellow, like Frieza's Army, for example, or the Frieza Clan with certain cards, and Ginyu Force, for example.
And some cards even have that your leader has to be yellow in order to get the effect.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So right now it's a little selfish, but I feel like once the card pool opens up set 2, set 3, then this won't be an issue at all.
I mean,
so
it's
set
very,
1, I'm okay with it.
It's flavorful too because like yellow, I don't know if people notice, but yellow is mainly all the villains. Of the DBZ universe, so it kind of is very flavorful in that sense that the villains are, of course, only just going to play with each other at that point.
Yeah, low-key, I have a soft spot for yellow because of that. I'm always a more villain guy than a hero guy. So.
Yeah, I was actually going to get to that next point. I would say if I had to pick like a dual color in a perfect world that they work together, I'd have to say red and yellow.
That's interesting.
Because you just get that burst damage that red can provide while you're sitting back and doing nothing that yellow likes to do.
Yeah, and yellow is very counterplay intuitive, so that's really complements red well, I feel, right now. All right, so the hit, and then we got blue, and then dual color red and yellow.
Yep.
Very interesting. Okay, Jake, what about you? What's your favorite leader and favorite color or dual color right now?
Broly in a diet soda.
Who said that?
What, Jake, like Broly? That'd be crazy.
All right, so I know you become a surprise to your fans over here, but
okay,
but Broly, without his ring, is complete garbage, 100%.
All right.
However, once you play a mono green Broly deck, or even blue green, because I don't really find that issue that much. I mean, with blue green, obviously, I would be mulliganing more to find Broly's ring, but at the same time, when it comes to mono green deck, it's just kind of like I have it every single time, so I'm getting pluses off of it, and I feel like Broly is the strongest leader in my opinion, is because his end game affects every deck in the game. It's not specific to one archetype, or it's not specific to one color. It affects all decks, so that's why I feel like Broly is very, very strong. And when I mean strong, I mean Mark Henry strong is what we're talking about here.
Oh, wow, Mark Henry strong.
Strongest man in the world. You mean, come on.
You know what? The biggest thing I think everybody is complaining about right now is there's very little to none. Well, you don't have any interaction. Your opponent doesn't have interaction with ring.
Right.
Which is a pretty big issue, I feel. But, again, it's set 1. I'm not going to complain about it. And honestly, I may think it is the best deck in the game currently, but I don't think it's too overpowered.
You want to know why they haven't been printed anything set 1 yet for Broly's ring? Because without Broly's ring, Broly is completely unplayable. You can't play him. You can't play him, in my opinion, at least. You can't play him without Broly's ring.
Well, you definitely want to wait for the Broly's ring, but you will get it. There's enough cards already to get it. You have 4 copies of Broly's ring. You can play 4 Paragus.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have the 50 cards in your deck minus your 8 life deck total. So you have 42 cards to get one of 8 cards. It's pretty solid odds, unless you're me and just draw unlucky every turn with it and only get Broly's ring turn 3.
Don't get me started on that, right?
Yeah.
You fans don't want to hear the amount of saltness. This is right now what you keep saying.
Hey man,
top decks.
I'm just saying. Oh, my top decks are wonderful.
But then on top of that with Broly, if you don't have a turn 1 and you have the baby Broly turn 1, you're already thinning your deck out 1 extra card.
I just feel like the whole Broly package in general is very good. Like you see the Broly package being played in Vegeta decks now, and I feel like it's super solid because the deck, what it wants to do, it affects everything. Like I said before, there's no specific archetype. It affects everyone, so everyone gets dealt like it's like a shot in the heart, like for each deck in the format.
Yeah.
That doesn't it makes sure like maybe the deck doesn't go overpowered or anything like that.
I think it's wonderful too. Like if you're playing Broly and you have ring on your front side, you're literally a 3-drop Gotenks every turn.
And then you have Gotenks on the board. It's like double the Gotenks.
Yeah, it's like that's a nice hand you got there. Be ashamed if I discarded all of it.
Oh, I evolved the Gotenks the other day. Oh, prime.
That's not even counting any of like the bio Broly's you're dropping in their mouth.
Yeah, it's really solid. When you can discard cards from your opponent's hand in any card game,
it's solid.
It's good, right?
It's solid. Yeah, exactly. In Magic, the issue with Magic is that control decks are actually the best decks. Okay. But the issue was when it comes to like discard outlets is that you can't play them, and the reason why you can't play them is because they usually stick to one color, which is generally black, and then you have to play. Your deck is not the statistics between Magic's decks and then the DBZ's decks. It wouldn't allow for more successfully and more accurately than I feel like in DBS. DBS, like I get it every single turn. I get Broly's ring every time I need to. I draw into it, or I draw Paragus, or I just draw it on my opening hand, and it's like, well, goody.
Consistency is consistency. I mean, that's good.
Didn't we count? It's like by turn 4, by the time you actually are able to drop Bio Broly, you've already ripped 6 cards out of the
All right, fans. If you guys want to know something, all right, out of all the times that I played Broly, okay, out of all the times I played Broly, there was only 2 times. I'm a 2-time champ, 2 times, in which that I didn't have Broly's Ring or Paragus on my board by turn 4.
And did you lose?
Yeah. I got scraped.
I mean, like that. I think that's part of the deck. You know, like if it performs well 90% of the time, I still think
I'll take
that's
10%.
worth. Yeah, I'll take the 1 out of 10 losses. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
means statistically an event. If it's best of 1 or best of 3, we don't know for sure yet. You can play either way. If you play best of 1, that's 10 rounds that you're only going to lose once, statistically. So what if you lost the first round and then won 9 more? You're probably winning that event, realistically.
You're definitely going to top 8.
You're instantly
and I
gonna
also feel like the Broly deck is actually good against when it comes to the set to be, if Bandai decides to go the best of 1, because Broly has a good chance against any deck, game 1, with prior to sideboard. So I feel like the deck only gets stronger if they only accommodate to that best of 1 strategy.
Yeah, that we'll discuss that in a little bit because I think that's a huge topic in general.
No, yes it is. Yes it is.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Your favorite leader is Broly right now. How about the colors? Like, what's your color that you're really vibing with right now?
All right, so like, I haven't played enough of the game yet to fully consider this choice. However, I've watched plenty of games.
Yes.
And we do this like this podcast pretty much is us talking in real life.
Yeah,
Every single night. So there's nothing new. We're not spiced up here or
deck
anything.
theory and everything.
But I feel like when it comes to color strategies, I feel like blue and green are the best color combination, in my opinion.
Blue and green.
It's so synergistic with one another, it's almost disgusting to watch.
Yeah, I think because the blue-green complements each other so well, because green is hand destruction for your opponent, while blue can get you pluses off like Majin Buu.
And it has great board presence, both of them. Both colors have great board presence.
Yeah, you
by
can just
turn
build.
4,
You
turn
can build
5.
up the little guys, like you can build up the little Broly, Bulma, Majin Buu.
Even the boost, yeah. You net 1, draw a card, and then you leave them there for later for combo pieces when you need them. And it's like, if I find, like, the one game I played against Ben, he had 4 boos out, and I was like, I can't beat that because he's just going to, I can't threaten to attack. Because we were both at like less than 3 health at that point. It was like really critical, and I was like, I can't beat him because he has a bunch of multi-combo pieces on board. This excludes anything he has in his hand, so I'm just like, if I pressure him, I'm going to wind up getting bit because of that fact. Mm-hmm. So I felt like those cards are very underrated, especially the ones that draw you cards and have a combo piece like
green
that. Green
has so much double strikers that it's pretty gross. They put up so much board presence, and then the fact that they also have that field destruction through the Vegeta card, and they also have that field destruction through the second Vegeta card as well.
Yeah, and they both have double strike.
Yeah.
Also, the 5-drop Go Tanks is good.
I feel like that's probably one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah,
Go Tanks.
5-drop, or you can evolve it for 4.
One of the best battle cards in the game.
Yeah, it's basically it's a 5-drop, but really, in essence, only costs 3, and you draw a card.
So it replaces itself, and you get 2 mana.
25k double strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25k is a really hefty body in case you didn't notice.
Yes.
And if you have Go Tanks on board, you can evolve it for even cheaper.
Yeah, what's the highest right now? 40k is the 12-drop Whis, and then we have a couple 30s, and then 25 is the...
40k is the highest.
40K
is the highest.
And there's only one 40k, which is Whis right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a monster, but that's a topic for another time as well.
Emrakul all over again. You don't know how much now flashbacks this gives me.
You know, that is, I think the new hype deck right now is the Beerus Mono Blue because of the Whis 12-drop.
I found it hilarious that I don't have to attack you, and my strategy still keeps going.
Literally, you do not have to attack. You can just wait until you mana ramp and just drop some Whis.
You only will attack if you get value off of Beerus' effect.
And like, think about this.
Right.
If you... his attack and effect cannot be negated, correct? So, therefore, if you drop the 12-drop Whis on...
No, his effect can't be negated.
His effect can't be negated.
Oh, his effect can be negated. So, if that's the case, you can spend all your 12 mana, or 12 energy, to drop the Whis, and even if they crush your ball or whatever, guess what? You have another turn.
You're getting more value, yeah.
Pay another energy, you have 13, you can drop another Whis if you want to.
Yeah, and then you can
happened.
And you can just ramp out either...
I saw it. It was disgusting.
Yeah, then you can just, like, if you're sick, you can play the 3rd Whis in your hand, and then you can just ramp out to win the game with the 16 drop at that point.
I feel like Beerus is probably one of the underappreciated decks. And I saw it in play, and I thought it was stupid, obviously, like everyone else. I was like, all right, so you're not going to let me play DBZ? All right, I guess not.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, Ben Morris, who took it to the Connecticut
I was
local
impressed.
that we went to.
Yeah, it was 4-0.
Remember, I was playing that deck a week or two beforehand, like messing
Were you
around
playing
to
with
see
the
if it
same
was
cards?
real. I don't think it was the same list exactly, but it's pretty similar. You know, it was basically like, hey, I have Beerus's and Whis'. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as soon as you drop Whis, it's pretty much game on
The
that
Boogie
point.
Monsters.
Yeah, so, like, the real strategy there, I guess, like, in my experience, you just have to go for the throat, basically.
Just be aggro. Yeah, I
You
found that
literally
as
just
well.
have, you
against
just
Ben
have to
Moore. Yeah.
dump your hand and just go.
There
for
was
the
actually
kill.
2 players that had the deck. I forgot his name, but it was the small. There's a short white guy that goes to our
Oh,
store.
Nate, right? Yeah.
He played a Beerus deck as well. And,
He did, yep.
And he beat me game 1 by dropping a Beerus. And I had 3 cards in hand, and I was like, if I negate it, I should be fine. But the issue was I negated the attack, but at the same time, it was too late for me at that point, so I had to discard 2 cards anyways.
Yep.
So I was like, I need to stop. I can't get any attacks from him. But at the same time, the deck, it was like I looked at it and I was like, well, if I be aggro with it, then he has to be forced to do something. And when I was aggro with him, the whole deck fell apart pretty much. If I was aggro against him.
Yeah, I think Broly, like, can be very aggro, so, like, it's not a horrible matchup for you. But if you're playing, like, a control, like, if you're playing yellow, like mono yellow control against the blue Beerus, you're in for a rough time, I feel.
Yeah.
Yep, both of you guys are in for a rough
Unfortunately,
time.
that's literally a coin flipping.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're not playing Ginyu or something that is proactive towards the deck, besides go to Frieza, Frieza's a combo piece, obviously. He's a combo oriented.
Or you can just wait out the game till you just drop Golden Frieza, put all their crap in rest mode, and swing for triple strike.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely strategies for sure. I mean, it's not like it's a like auto win basically, unless you got 16 energy, and then in that case,
drop 2 with them.
In that case, you should be losing anyway because you let them get to 16 energy.
yeah, if they get to 16 energy and they just rest Beerus for game, I mean,
That's
either
on
they
you.
drew the nuts or
Didn't you
you're
rip
not paying
Beerus
attention.
against me one time?
I did
T-top
Beerus.
decked
I
it?
did Beerus.
Listen. This man, Kevin
Oh,
right here.
you're talking about the 7-drop Beerus. I'm talking about the leader though.
Oh, I'm still a little salty about it, so I need to get this off my chest real quick.
you
NEC
wanna-
levels
okay.
are indeed high.
Okay.
He topped at the Beerus at the exact point when he needed to, and I was a little salty about it.
I mean, things happen, man. I mean, I just
I
talk
kind of feel like in this game we all topped it against each other real bad.
hey, that's
It's really funny,
part of
actually.
the numbers,
It
baby.
is part of the game.
Part of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, you're right.
So getting back to topic a little bit, my favorite leaders and colors. This is actually tough for me right now because I haven't played with everyone. Well, I played with almost everyone except for Champa and Hit, but I've also like seen a lot of games and done a lot of research, so I kind of know what they're about per se. I do have a soft spot for Vados or Vados. I'm not sure.
Vados.
Vado sounds
thank
more
you.
sexier.
I mean, I'm just saying I like attacking battle cards in active mode. I think that's pretty cool.
It's not an underrated ability, I feel.
Yeah.
It hurts Broly a lot.
Yeah,
It hurts Broly a lot,
Yeah, I don't
actually.
want you to evolve that little shenanigans. You know.
Yeah, and then it kind of forces me to either drop a combo piece to protect the Broly, or force me to drop blockers, or you'll just attack the blocker at that point.
But what I'm really feeling right now is the uncommon Goku leader. That's
That's dual attack.
the one that has dual attack because on the front side, once you
so
get to
dumb.
5 energy, it's a 15k on your turn. So that way, even if your opponent doesn't make you awaken, you can still hit their leader for
You're
damage.
gonna be
It's
pressuring
kinda like
him
what Hit wants to
every
do.
single turn. You're able to pressure the leader, and I feel like that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, and then once you hit the 7 with dual attack, and
7
like,
with dual attack, and it's what 21k after that or something.
if
like
it's
that?
a minimum, if you have 7 energy, it's a minimum 22k on the awaken side with double or dual attack.
So it makes me combo once, no twice.
You
If I
have,
if
you
I
have
10K,
to you have to at
combo once.
least get rid of one 10k combo piece or 2 5ks. So it makes you waste cards from your hand, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and then you can give him double strike to even further.
Yeah, you
improve
can
it.
even do the extra card in blue that gives them double strike. The only reason I don't play that card is because you activate it in the main and
yeah.
not in battle.
Yeah.
And so your
So
opponent
the
can be
combo
like,
piece is better, but it doesn't replace itself, which is kind of a meh.
yeah, I mean it is nice though. Like if I'm at
That's a
7
good-
energy and I have it's 22 and then I drop the double strike.
That's 10k and double strike.
That's 32 double strike. I mean that's pretty good.
That's pretty
you know?
good.
So as long as you have the energy to do it, it's good. That's what I'm really feeling for a leader right now. I mean, I like almost all of them.
I wanted to play him.
I think there's a few leaders that are underappreciated, but that's a topic for another time.
Right.
When it comes to colors,
There's definitely no bad leader, I would say.
yeah, I don't.
There's underrepresented leaders.
Yeah, I think a couple leaders in a vacuum There's a few that maybe don't perform as well, but I think for example, a good hit player can still beat a good Vegeta player. You know what I mean? Because this game, I feel like, is that close, where there's no like where I'm like
definitive decks that like
there's
blow
no
out other decks.
I feel like there's no auto lose. You know,
there's definitely top tier decks though.
Yeah, for sure. There's some that I would say overall are better than others, but I still think like on any given Sunday, you know, pun intended, you can win a game. There's no auto lose. If I'm playing, if I have Goku and my opponent is dropping Hit as their leader, I'm not like, this should be an easy one. No, I never think that, because they could just, you know, have the juice or just outplay me or anything.
All right, so shout out to Pete. Peter Omet over here. This man sent me a meme the other day, and earlier today, and he sent me a meme and said that he showed me a meme of when you ask players, when players actually like, what are you playing? I'm playing Broly. It's like, I never faced that before. And then you just see like victim.
To let you guys know, my man Jake looks a little bit like Bob Ross.
All right. Not a little bit. All right, not a little bit. Not a lot.
He looks like a caramel color Bob Ross. That's all I'm saying.
No resemblance whatsoever.
Okay, you can believe that.
No resemblance.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
It does help me sleep at night. No, I'm not Bob Ross's son.
Okay, so I want to get into something, and that is, if there was an OP event, aka a regional, nationals, worlds, whatever you want to call it, if that was tomorrow, do you guys have a deck that you know you would play? Or are you a little undecided between a couple? Like, what would you guys do? Ben, how about you?
I would like to bring blue-green Gohan.
Blue-green Gohan, especially with that supposed errata that is happening right now.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I've always believed in Gohan. You know, he's performed well in my testing, and he went 2-2 at the last tournament I brought him to, but that could have been either on me or just the way I was playing him was incorrect.
Or just his matchups. His matchups were just...
Yeah, I mean, he still went 500 at the end of the day, but he just needed that extra oomph to push him through the end game, and I feel that errata was that extra oomph that he needed.
Yeah, just in case you guys don't know, apparently somebody emailed Bandai, and they said that Gohan's front side, it says if it's more or equal to, is basically what they said. So
if you have more life than your opponent, you draw a card.
Yeah, now it says more or equal to, apparently. So even if you're at the same, so that means turn 2, if you swing, you're going to draw a card even if you're both at 8. That is what we're talking about right now.
And the only reason that question was asked is because there's
one Japanese translation.
Yeah, there's one kanji in his Japanese card name that didn't get translated over correctly into English.
Yeah, so we'll see if that actually stays. I mean, I hope it does, because I feel like Gohan does benefit hugely from that, and it does make it overpowered, I think. I think it makes him solid. I think...
and it makes him better than what he was before at that point.
Right, so you said you would bring blue-green Gohan.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what if that errata was not in place? What would you bring?
If that errata was not in place, I would probably bring a variant of a yellow-blue Golden Frieza.
Okay, I like that. I think that deck is really spicy.
Spicy.
It has a lot of spice to it. And a lot of kick.
I feel like you could go red or blue either way, but the yellow definitely needs to be there.
We can play Frieza's Call turn 1, fetch a Frieza, go and get a Dodoria off of that 3, put it to your hand, and then combo. You're drawing 2 cards already.
Yes, it's so good.
And then you're on top of it, and you can drop another Frieza on the same turn. Yep. And so you're just getting double. You're getting 3 cards off of that first turn alone.
Yeah, that is
without even
so
attacking.
good for
it's
a
so
turn.
Dumb. It's so dumb.
I like it a lot. It's a lot of plussing with that.
It's a lot of pluses. The issue is it doesn't have a lot of interaction with what opponents are doing.
So, well, I mean, it does with like Bloodlust and Crusher Ball and stuff.
No, I'm talking about just the leader in itself.
Well, the thing is,
only focus on what it's doing. Is not trying to.
The thing is, you're using your board as pawns, which is what Frieza does. He just uses his army guys as pawns.
Yeah, Frieza's
so
not good against
you're forcing your opponent to either attack your leader or do nothing for their turn. So you're forcing your opponent to force your life down so you can awaken and just try to blow them out after that.
Okay.
I've seen Frieza. I've played against Frieza decks before. The same deck we're talking about right now, and I feel like I don't know. I just coming from the Broly player, I guess. So I guess like what I'm saying is like 50% less legitimate because I'm a Broly player. But if we get into spicy things over here,
Okay.
Broly is very good against Frieza for a couple of reasons. Because Broly is very good very good at being an aggro matchup when it's needed to. Frieza, I feel, is not very good against aggro decks. It's a combo-oriented deck. You're netting cards, yes. That's always going to be a plus. The issue is that what I was saying before was that it doesn't sort of... it doesn't correlate well against aggro decks. It doesn't answer to them very well. I mean, besides Cold Bloodlust and Crushable, which are very good,
Well,
obviously.
you're also talking from a Game 1 standpoint, so we don't even know if there's sideboarding or not on top of this.
I think the other thing, too, is you got to think about no deck in general wants to get, besides Beerus, in a waiting contest with Broly. No deck wants to do that. Because Broly will punish you more and discard cards from your hand, and they could be random cards with the super rare. So like
the deck punishes you pretty bad too if you're aggro. I've seen people try to be aggro against me, especially when they're playing like Champa or something like that, and just let me all of the cards I need, and they misplay because they're so nervous about like me being at 2 life or whatever.
Well, the thing with that too is they have to have a way to awaken, because you can play very smart and set up your board if you're Broly, even if you're awakened, because now they have to drop cards that hit you. And you're still just going to set up your energy and board and take them out.
Yeah, and then what you can do from there is you can just stay on your unawakened side and then just start pecking cards out of their hand.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Awakening is a little overrated for Broly. You don't need to. I feel like Awakening defensively is the best way to do it, not offensively. Because the offensive requires you to second battle card.
I mean, if you have the board out, like if you have the 2-drop,
yeah. If I have the board out, yeah, in that scenario, yes. But at the same time, I feel like the Gotenks every turn, I feel like is more strong than Awakening the other side and then having to also set yourself behind because of Broly's ability.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Because there was a couple times in which I thought Broly's turn was actually viable to sack, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I got beaten.
We live and we learn.
Yeah.
But Jake, what about you? If there's an OP event tomorrow, do you have a deck that you, in your heart's content, you would know and feel confident in taking?
Mono Green Broly.
Mono Green Broly.
I don't like the blue version of it, unfortunately.
That's alright.
It makes the deck weaker against certain matchups when it doesn't need to. But I get why blue's there, because blue, I never had that amount of cards the way blue has gotten me. I had like 11 cards in hand one time.
Yeah, like
and
early
game. That would never be possible.
Yeah,
I understand blue's purpose and everything, but I feel like if you're looking for consistency and you're looking for decks that can just steamroll people, Mono Green Broly is the best bet.
Okay. Me personally, if I was taking a deck to an event tomorrow, it would be either the blue-green Uncommon Goku, or it would be something spicy, something a little out there. I would take, something I would have like real fun with. So it would be something yellow-oriented, and I would take Golden Frieza with either a mix of blue, green, or red. I know that's all the colors, but I'm not sure, Like,
He's like, just for the safe side, I'm choosing all the colors.
Yeah, but if you ask me my personal opinion, what deck I think is the best and I would do the best with, I think it is Mono Green Broly.
Mono Green Broly.
I really do have a lot of love for that deck, which is weird because I don't like Broly that much. I'm sorry if that triggers anybody, but I'm not a huge fan of his character. But in this game and in Pansy, he's just good. I can't deny how good he is, Right. So, like, if I'm trying to win that event, I'm probably taking Mono Green Broly. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I took it. I took the deck.
Some variation.
I took the deck to the local, and you can even play Vegeta with the Broly package and still come out on top because it's that good.
Yeah,
it's that good.
Yeah, who would have thought ripping cards out of your hand in a card game where
and then a leader that denies you card advantage, that's a little broken. I feel like a leader should not have critical. I feel like Vegeta should not have critical.
Yeah,
that's a little.
Impressive, if I was gonna fix quote unquote Vegeta, which I think he's fine, but I understand why people think he's OP. I would make sure that you critical yourself to gain the critical, so that way you're not gaining an advantage, but you're also
you dump it from instead of your hand.
Exactly, it's like Furious Yell Vegeta's effect, but that
instead
would be
of bringing it to your hand. Yeah, I feel like that's also pretty good.
I think it would still be fine. It wouldn't be as OP as people will say it is, but I think it would be.
It would suck, especially if I had Negate in your hand.
I mean, like
that would suck.
Maybe they could fix it. Maybe they could fix it like activate it. You don't activate it on your main phase. You actually activate it in the battle. So like you.
Or you could just like put one from your life and then just discard a card. choose a card from your life, put it to your hand, and then discard a card to gain a critical.
Yes, that might be better actually as well. Actually, I think that would be better. I like that idea.
Yeah, because then you allow card hand customization, which players do need in DBS, and as well as just the fact that it's seemingly fair. Because even if you negate it, you still got a better card off it, arguably.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of just like having to put it into the drop area and then attack and negate, that's a blowout in my opinion.
Okay.
That's real bad. That's tilt mode status is what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
here.
definitely. So one last topic I want to get in before we end this podcast for tonight.
So soon?
Yes, so soon. We're actually already about half an hour in. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I know
we talk so much.
It's been going good. I like this. It feels natural. But one thing, last thing I want to get on. One last thing. The best of 3 or the best of 1 scenario and the best of 3 with side decking. What do you guys feel is the better call right now? In my opinion, I would love as a card game player to play best of 3 because I do not like getting luck sacked one game and then just having to take that out. It sucks. I hate it. But at the same time, 60-minute rounds.
That's tough.
Is so rough. Like for the day, like if you have 8 rounds, that's 8 hours of playing, not including if people go into time, not including like them setting up the pairings.
Even with the 60-minute rounds, people still go into time.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's what I mean. I do think eventually when people get more used to the game, the rounds will go by quicker. But you're still gonna have at least a few people who are gonna take time every time and go into time. Which I understand taking your time and everything, but like. In the way the tiebreaker situation is up right now is also very flawed. So, would I love best of 3? Sure. Would I care if they did best of 1? No. Would I be a little upset about it? Yeah, a little bit. But I'm still gonna play the game either way. That's how I feel in the situation.
That's fair.
So, how do you guys feel about it? Ben, how do you feel about
I'll take
that?
the floor on this one.
Okay.
If they're going to do a best of 1, I feel you should have a sideboard option before the game.
Oh, so like you basically see what your opponent's playing as a leader.
Yes.
And then you side accordingly.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have the sideboard option pre-game. I don't know of any other game that has done this or not, but I feel like
I think there was.
I feel like that is an option if they should do best of 1. I mean, like you said, best of 1 is good because it's quick, done, over with.
Yeah.
But it doesn't decide an undisputed winner in my opinion. Because like you said, I can just like draw the nuts and then just like put my dick on the table and just say eat.
Yeah, exactly. It's so frustrating, and especially in like big top level events. If you get sacked by somebody, like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Right.
Like so.
But the best of 3, like you said, takes too long, and I'm gonna put some of the blame on the players for this one a little bit because the game is fairly new. We're learning interactions, and we're still getting card rulings every day on what cards, how they interact and stuff. So,
all right, I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna do a soul clap for Benjamin Kalina right now. This man literally just said he puts his dick on the table and tells people to eat. That's just great.
Yeah, look at this monster right here.
Wow. I don't even know who you are anymore. I live with you guys.
He's invited to the party, that's for sure.
Who invited this Ben to the party? This Ben is always invited to the party.
Yeah, he's always on the guest list. Check it off.
Permanently, permanent marker, check.
But like I said, there's pros and cons to both. But I feel if people are going to complain about going into time, that's a player's fault at that point. That's not game mechanics' fault.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with both aspects. I do not agree, however, with what you're saying and how people should look at their sideboards. That's a little juicy, in my opinion. But at the same time, I feel like the best of 3 is the best scenario for DBS. And the reason why I say this is because, yes, it is 60-minute rounds. We have gone through time multiple times doing a 60-minute round. However, the majority of the time, it was the player's fault. It was not the game mechanics. The players decided that I'm going to lock you at 5, and then that's just the best case scenario. When in reality, that's not the best case scenario for every deck. You understand what I'm saying? Everyone thinks that there's a logical explanation for just leaving your opponent at 5, but at the same time, you're risking a tie. So that's also something that needs to be considered.
Especially with like the tie in rounds. Yeah, it's like 1-2 over.
Yeah, exactly. I do not like the best of 1. I feel like the best of 1 will make me salt most because if I'm paying, I don't know, for a regional event, like I don't know how much it is, like
$20-$30.
$20-$30 for entry just to play one game where I could get luck sacked just as easily as I can luck sack them. That's ridiculous to me. I would not pay that type of money.
That's not fair to both parties.
That's not fair to anyone who goes there, and especially if it's not fair to people who drive there. All right. let's shout out for all the people who drive to their locals, because that's a rough life. It's a hard times.
Yeah,
Hard times. I've reached my high over here.
Yeah, man. I don't get me wrong though. I love my dude Joshua Cruz. Shout out to him though.
Yo, shout out to him. Slow clap.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
This man right here, he was the one who gave us the idea for the podcast.
Originally, he wanted me and Benjamin to do a roommate podcast, which arguably would be the best podcast of all year. However,
yeah, we decided to do this instead for now, test the waters. But his local in CT, it's about an hour-ish from us. And you know what? That's the closest locals to us right now.
right?
And
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I love spending time with those guys. So you know what? That hour is definitely worth it to me.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah, every time. I feel like that's definitely stuff. I mean, like, we wouldn't do
him,
it if you
Trevor,
didn't feel like,
Katie.
I feel so bad for
Jason,
Trevor. Trevor's a good
Jason,
player.
Jordan,
He just gets slug sacked.
Yeah, Trevor.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Trevor,
My
man.
man Trevor. Slow clap for Trevor.
He's like bad luck Brian of the DBs.
Yeah.
He's like Charlie
community.
Brown of the DBS community.
It's crazy.
He's Charlie
But honestly, though, when you talk about the best of 3 versus best of 1, I cannot argue any points you
Yeah, I feel like best of
I-
3
I-
is the
I
best
can't.
case scenario, because even if it's 60-minute rounds, I mean, at the same time, you look at more successful game, right? So you look at Magic. Magic, when we went to Magic tournaments, when me and Ben went, it was like a whole entire day.
Yeah.
To go into these tournaments,
Yes.
and it was like 12 rounds,
Yep.
and you played them out. If
Yeah,
it was
you
like,
had 12 rounds, best
Yeah.
of 3, 50-minute rounds. I mean, and nobody went into time.
and not a lot of people will go to draws.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like, yeah, to announce what was wrong, to announce who wins by life deck, that's wrong.
I agree. That should be changed.
That's
somehow.
absolutely wrong. I feel like life decks are a lot misleading, especially since like I could be at 4, you could be at 6. I could still be winning against you because you awakened me 2 turns before you should
Yeah,
have.
and in this game, sometimes you want to take damage.
Yeah,
Right.
taking damage is never a bad thing. I feel like taking damage, like, I'd be risky business, be like taking 3, put 3 in my hand, I'd be like, all right, this was worth. I'll draw 2 kid chunks off of it, like, good eat.
Yeah.
You can't really.
I mean,
Yeah, it happens, right?
that
You
is
just
what
draw
it
the
is.
nuts.
All right. Well, it's been a great podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But before we take off,
The greatest of all time.
Do you guys have any last thing you want to put in before we any shout outs, any final thoughts that you guys want to put in right now? Ben, how about you?
I just want to give one final shout out to our boy Josh, because if it wasn't for his idea, this probably wouldn't be a thing right now.
To be fair, we should have done this beforehand. I don't know why we didn't
Good
do
man,
it.
Josh. Good man, Josh.
Good man, good man. Slow clap once again. 3 slow claps in one podcast. Congratulations, Josh.
All right. How about you? How about you, Jake? How do you feel?
I just want to play my theme song. I just want to do it for the fans.
All right. Listen, Mr. Eric Bischoff. I call this man Eric Bischoff because he has the same smug look that Eric Bischoff. He's making it right now. ladies and gentlemen.
I've mastered the shit grid. All right, the shit grid comes from 2 different places on my face. One for my forehead, and one for my actual face, and it's great.
I want you guys to sleep with that thought tonight.
Yes, sleep with a man who has like the head equivalent to the Mega Mind and has a shit grid on it. All right,
Or don't sleep, because that keeps me up at night.
right.
Whatever floats your boat. But thank you guys for listening. For all our listeners out there, it might be a mighty 3, it might be 1, it might be 20.
All right, don't worry about it. We'll be back. Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
He's creating. He's making you guys feel
I
like you guys
have to
trust
admit,
issues on
this
him.
was very smooth in my opinion. It felt very natural to me.
It's like
and
your
it was,
voice, Kev.
It was great
Yeah, we got a
to
lot.
talk with you guys.
We got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. And also, if you have any feedback, feel free to give it out.
Please.
Constructive
Why do you bitch with me,
criticism
baby?
only. We can take criticism, but only constructive criticism.
Yeah, just don't be a dick for no reason. Come on.
Right? Don't
Come
just
on.
say it's ass and just not even listen to us.
All right, I'm gonna be honest for a second. You are not allowed to comment unless you graduated college and you had a degree.
No. Don't listen
And-
to him. Anyone can comment. Don't listen to him.
All right,
That's
all right,
communism
all right.
over here.
Wow, you call it Stalin?
I mean, a little bit.
Wow,
You told me
rude.
people can't
All right,
comment.
all I'm saying is that you should comment if you have constructive criticism, which means you have an end to what you're trying to say,
Okay.
an end goal to what you're trying to say. See, I'm not secretly communist. Don't listen to them.
Well, again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun. But we are the Super Friends Podcast. My name is Kevin.
My name's Ben.
The Jake.
Until next time, have a good night. And remember, let's end this on a little cliche. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky.
Just remember that Ben has his penis on the table all the time.
Please don't. Have a good night.